Alright. One of the ones I'm excited about. A new Finnish flavor of feline coat coloration, Salmic, is associated with a 95 kb detection downstream of the KIT gene. It's an abstract. See if I can get pictured. Yeah, there's pictures in this if I remember. Alright, cats with a distinctive white hair pattern of unknown molecular cause have been discovered in the Finnish domestic cat population. Based on the unique appearance of these cats, we have named this phenotype Salmic, or it means salty licorice, most likely in Finnish. The use of the commercially available panel test to genotype 4 Salmic colored cats revealed in the absence of all known variants associated with the white-haired phenotypical loci, full white W, spotted WS, and the Burman white gloves associated with the allay. Yeah. Well, welcome to genetic talk. Do you remember your freshman year of high school? Allay of the KIT proto-conage kit. The whole genome sequenced on the 2 Salmic colored cats were conducted to search for a candidate of casual variants of the KIT gene. Despite the lack of coded variants, the visual inspection of the short red alignments revealed that a large 95 kb detection located in the... Let me show you what the KIT... what we're talking about. Don't think actually shows the... Okay. The KIT gene provides instructions for making a member of a protein family called receptor and tyrosine kinesis. Receptors transmit signals from the cell surface into the cell in a process called transduction. It's a photocogen that plays a crucial role in regulating various cellular processes, including cell growth, differentiation, and survival. The KIT gene is involved in several cellular processes, including stem cell maintenance and self-renewal, cell differentiation and proliferation, cell migration and adhesion, signaling pathways such as those pathways. There, we have an answer for that. The variation of the KIT gene is associated with an absence of melanocytes in the skin and hair follicles is a common cause of the white coat appearance, especially in various domestic animal species. Across cat breeds, breed types, and population, the appearance of white patterning or full white is explained by a feline in generis retrovirus insertion into one of the KIT genes. An insertion of a full length is responsible for the white spotted pattern, widely distributed in the cat population, while a partial 632 EP fragment of the fern one at the same position associated with full white coloration. The presence of white pearls is also associated with the heterogeneity of... Anyways, this is what? Isn't that cute? Alright. A unique white-haired coat color pattern was first noticed in 2007 in one cat population in, I'm sorry, Finland. Pietarsaari, Central Finland. The color patterning phenotype resembles a normal tuxedo pattern of ventral white, but with an additional color gradation with thin hairs showing full coloration at the base and no color white at the tips through the dorsal regions. The decrease in color is less prominent near the head, and in some individuals, a band of more intense coloring is seen in the scalpel region. However, the patterning shows individual variations, with some individuals manifesting only a few white hairs in the colored areas. Colored spots are also noticeable in the white areas of the front legs and chest, figure 1. The end of the cat's tail is white or nearly white. All known cats have yellow and green eyes, which are also the most common eye colors in domestic cats. We named this phenotype salmonic or salty licorice. This salmonic patterning of white hairs is most noticeable in solid black cats, but can occur with different colored backgrounds, including, for example, brown tabby, tortoiseshell, and Aleutian blue, and in both male and female cats. The unique coloring is presented at birth and seems to stay highly similar throughout life. Previously salmonic-colored cats were considered possibly infertile solely owing to the maintained low prevalence of its coat color in the cat population. But a recent observation of salmonic-colored cats giving birth to 4 kittens refuted this belief. The cat shown with kittens is S. To our knowledge, the salmonic cats have not been suspected of exhibiting hearing impairments. However, to definitely include any potential auditory issues, it would be necessary to conduct a brainstem auditory evoke response testing. Because sometimes these things, especially where the gene difference is located at, can cause problems in other locations. And kitty. Now, this is actually the genetic stuff that I don't understand. I mean, I kind of understand, but I'm quite sure somebody eventually would ever find a better way of speaking about it. But yeah, kitties. All right. 5 hydrothermal vents have appeared in the dark heart of the ocean. Scientists have made a scorching discovery miles beneath the waves. A research mission uncovered 5 new hydrothermal vents in the highly volcanic region of the eastern Pacific Ocean. The vents spewed fluids hotter than 570 Fahrenheit and appear to be a result of the East Pacific rise tectonic plates continuing to split apart. The use of both an undersea robot and human-occupied submersible, definitely not named the Titan, sped the discovery along. Expect intense heat on the floor of the eastern tropical Pacific Ocean. Researchers have learned that a location is responsible for over 75% of the world's volcanic activity, is more active than even previously believed, as they recently discovered 5 new hydrothermal vents. Yeah, each spewing fluids hotter than 570 Fahrenheit. The team, led by Jill McDermott of the Lehigh University, dipped 1.6 miles deep into the eastern Pacific Ocean using both an autonomous underwater vehicle named Sentry and the human-occupied submersible called Alvin. Why Alvin? Am I correct with the 2001 Space Odyssey? Unless it's named after somebody. No, it's Hal. Where did I get Alvin? I mean, there's the chipmunks. Both operated by Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute's National Deep Submersive Faculty. The devices were used to track one of the most active thermal locations known at the East Pacific Rise, near 10 degrees north latitude. It's dotted with thousands of deep sea hot springs like these, which all together extract 10% of the Earth's total internal heat. Oh, I'm so sorry. About Ty Bolt Bravare, co-lead scientist on the expedition, said in a statement, We want to increase our understanding of how hydrothermal vents release heat and chemicals as they flow through the sea floor and affect the global ocean. The find of these hotter-than-hot vents came as a result of a collaboration between humans and a robot. Each night, the crew sent the robot Sentry to scan high-resolution maps with its sensors. When the robot was retrieved in the morning, the researchers planned how to use a human-occupied Alvin to better investigate locations that could provide valuable. The high-resolution maps from Sentry allowed us to spot the likely new hydrothermal fields soon after the Sentry came back on deck, McDermott said in a statement. This gives us great targets for Alvin and the opportunity to make multiple discoveries in a single dive. The East Pacific Rise, part of the globe-spanning mid-ocean ridge oceanic mountain chain, has two tectonic plates splitting apart at over 4 inches per year, making it a prime research location. But getting Alvin there was a key piece of the equation. Alvin has been proven critical in discovering hydrothermal vents since it first started exploration in an oceanic spreading ridge north of the Galapagos Islands in 1977. Goodness, it's been around since that long? Dang. Chemical-rich venting helping to supply energy to animal life and creating a diverse ecosystem in the waters around the vents. Researchers say that understanding more about these underwater vents can give researchers key tools to use in searching for potential life, supporting environments throughout the universe. Daniel Fornari, co-leader scientist at the expedition from Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute, said the Sentry mapping provides important details of lava flows that erupt in deep ocean that allows them to target ideal locations for collecting rock samples. These new perspectives and analysis of rock samples will let us figure out how quickly the lava erupted, how far it travels, and the impacts deep sea lava eruptions have on the hydrothermal venting, he said in a statement. This wasn't the last time Sentry and Alvin will team up the East Pacific Rise. A follow-up expedition aims to discover more distinct geophysical, chemical, and biological processes. It just may show even more hydrothermal venting from one of the Earth's most intense volcanic regions. All right, on to more animal things, kinda. This squid's birth month dictates his mating strategy for life. Fun. If you're scientifically minded, you might not think much of horoscopes and their predictions of your fated future, even if they are based on position of the stars and planets in the sky on the night you are born. Some squids, however, seem destined to become sneaky or aggressive mating partners depending on when they hatch, according to a new research from Japan. University of Tokyo marine biologist Sota Hosono and colleagues studied the Japanese spear squid, the Bigurai, Bigurai, found that the male's reproductive tactics depend on which month they're hatched. Squids hatching early in the breeding season, between early April and mid-July, had grown comparatively larger by mating time, so became consorts, squids that fight off rivals to impregnate a female and then guard her while she lays her eggs. Squids that hatched later, between early June and mid-August, were typically smaller and became sneakers, covertly depositing their sperm on the outside of a female near where she lays her eggs in hopes of fertilizing them. Those that hatched in early June had an even chance of being a sneaker or a fighter. This phenomenon is called the relative age effect and can be seen clearly in the way that children born earlier in the year have a better chance of becoming professional athletes. What? I'm gonna pull that up. Than others in their age group because they have more time to develop before selection. What? Huh? However, before the squid study, the This birth date hypothesis, as it otherwise is known among biologists, had only been tested in in several species of telos fish, and no other taxonomic group in the broader realms of the animal kingdom other than humans. Typically, large males adopt a tactic of competing with rivals for mating, while the smaller males adopt a tactic of stealing fertilization opportunities from the large males. Sono and colleagues explain in their published paper after studying 201 male squids and 68 mature females. Squid's age was determined by counting the growth rings on their statoliths, the organs that squids use to balance. This is the first time that evidence of a birth date hypothesis has been found in an aquatic invertebrates, suggesting that male H. licorics are locked into mating behaviors from birth. Even when a male squid born early in the season failed to brawn up as expected, they didn't buck their birthday trend and go the sneaky approach. They'd postponed mating altogether and continued growing until they were large enough to become a consort. Our results show that the hatching date determines the whole life trajectory of this species, says Yoka Ottawa, marine ecologist at the University of Tokyo. Moreover, these mating tactics aren't simply inherited from their parental line. Also, in Ottawa and colleagues' reason, female squids store sperm from both consort and sneaker males throughout the breeding season, and use a mixture of sperm from both sources to fertilize their eggs during a spawning event. Genetic variations stem from alternative reproductive tactics can influence the mating behaviors of animals, including birds and damselflies, although documented examples of this are considered rare. But Hasono and colleagues' findings suggest that the male mating tactics of the H. licori are likely determined by a heady mix of physical, biological, and environmental factors at birth. In beetles, for example, food availability is a key driver of physical traits linked to their sexual success in later life. This seasonality is seen in humans too. The season in which you are born leaves a stamp on your DNA, affecting the odds you'll have allergies, for example. Fun! The difference in hatch date means that the squids experience different environmental conditions in early life, which may influence the growth trajectory. Squids are very sensitive to environmental conditions, particularly water temperature. Itawa says if an extreme event, such as a marine heat wave, happens during their hatching season, it could affect the squid's mature body size and subsequent mating tactic. This would also impact the amount that could be commercially caught enormously. Of course, we're talking about catching them. However, the study found that the growth rate early in life was not so different between consorts and sneakers, even though they grew up during different seasons. So further study is needed to untangle how environmental factors may affect mating behaviors. What's this? Is there any? This was all done in February 2010. That's a while back ago. Is there any? This feels odd. Has it been cited in anything other than just this? Because it feels like, yeah, old news is old, yeah. But no, the thing is, well, this is a new study. The whole thing of the squid is a new study. But I'm curious. There's only one. Only one reference. I'm not sure. It's in a book. It's not. The results of the study are published in the Springer book, analyzing health data. I would say I don't like the setup for this. The thing is, research in the UK shows the bonus start, but actually, materials provided. Okay, never mind. Okay, we cool. I don't trust this. It doesn't tell. I guess it's just the press release because it doesn't tell. Because it's just a singular location, but it also says in the UK. I don't know. It doesn't tell me the amount of people that were, yeah. The amount of people that were picked, and doesn't list the other international studies. One of the things you have to realize, you have to be very careful with some science things. That's become really problematic, by the way, in the scientific literature, is there's actually a study factories in the sense of releasing papers and stuff, because the way that it has in science, which is kind of stupid, is you have more prestige with how many papers you release on something. And so basically there's these locations that just spit out research stuff that people can pay to have their name put on them. That's just studies that are bulk. They're just completely bulk. Like you can't reproduce it. They don't really give enough information to be able to do it. So you have to be very careful about that kind of stuff. And the thing is, even if it's like a reputable organization that releases these studies, scientific studies, there's still about, I think, 33%, they did a thing of them not being true. In the sense, well, they're just they're farmed content. So you have to be kind of careful on that. Alright, something strange happens to the wolves infected by infamous mind-altering parasite. A study of 26 years worth of wolf behavior data and an analysis of the blood of 229 wolves has shown the infection of the parasite Toxoplasma gondii makes wolves 46 times more likely to become a pack leader. The research shows the effects of this parasite in wild have been horrendously understudied, and its role in the ecosystem and animal behavior underestimated. If you have a cat, you've probably heard of this parasite before. The microscopic organization that can only sexually reproduce in the bodies of felines, but it can affect and thrive in pretty much all warm-blooded animals. This includes humans, where it can cause a typically symptomless but still potentially fatal parasitic disease called toxoplasmosis. I turned off the ads. I don't know why it's continuing. I will wait. I will wait. I will wait for this. The wolf is here. And no, I'm not gonna play. I mean, I might play it off stream, but I'm not gonna play Final Fantasy after this. I get through all these articles. Cause I need to rest my voice. Because Friday is gonna be a lot of reading. So, alright. Where'd we leave off? Wolf. What'd you last hear? Name of the parasite. So the Toxoplasma gondii makes wolves 46 times more likely to become a pack leader. The researcher shows that the effects of this parasite in the wild have been horrendously understudied, and its role in ecosystems and animal behavior is underestimated. If you have a cat, you've probably heard of this parasite before. The microscopic organization can only sexually reproduce in the bodies of felines, but it can infect and thrive in pretty much all warm-blooded animals. This includes humans, where it can cause a typically symptomless, but still potentially fatal, parasitic disease called toxoplasmosis. Once it's in another host, the individual T. gondii parasites need to find a way to get their offspring back inside of a cat if it doesn't want to become an evolutionary dead end. And it has a kind of creepy way of maximizing its chances. Animals such as rats infected with the parasite start taking more risks, and in some cases actually become fatally attracted to the scent of feline urine, thus more likely to be killed by them. For larger animals such as chimpanzees, it means increased risk of run-in with a larger cat, such as a leopard. Hyenas affected with it are also more likely to be killed by lions. Gray wolves, Canis lupus, in the Yellowstone National Park aren't exactly cat prey, but sometimes their territory overlaps with that of cougars, Puma concolor, known carriers of the T. gondii. And the two species both prey on the elk, bison, and mule deer that can also be found there. It's possible that wolves also become infected, perhaps from occasionally eating dead cougars or ingesting cougar poop. Here's this thing. Some die. Unaffected wolves learn to take risks, like approaching cougars. Unaffected wolves get affected. Wolves and cougars spatially overlap. Infected cougars infect wolves, likely through consuming cougars or environmental processes or a dead cougar. Infected wolves take high risk, disperse. Some die and become pack leaders, usually become pack breeders. Infected leaders lead uninfected pack mates into risky situation, possibly even towards cougars. Okay. The data collected on the wolves and their behavior for nearly 27 years offered a rare opportunity to study the effects of the parasite on a wild intermediate host. Researchers led by biologists Connor Meyer and Kira Cassidy of the Yellowstone Wolf Project also looked at the blood samples from wolves and cougars to gauge the rate of the infection. They found that wolves with a lot of territory overlap with cougars were more likely to be infected, but there was a behavioral consequence too, with significantly increased risk-taking. Infected wolves were 11 times more likely to disperse from their pack into new territory. Infected males had a 50% probability of leaving their pack within 6 months, comparable to the more typical 21 months for the uninfected. Similarly, infected females had a 25% chance of leaving their pack within 30 months, compared to the 48 months for those who weren't infected. Infected wolves were also more likely to become pack leaders. The T. gondii may increase testosterone levels, which could in turn lead to a heightened aggression and dominance, which are traits that would help a wolf assert itself as a pack leader. This has a couple of important consequences. Pack leaders are the ones who reproduce, and the transmission can be congenial, passed on from mother to offspring, but it can also affect the entire pack. Due to the group living structure of gray wolf pack leaders have a disproportionate influence on their pack mates and group decisions. If lead wolves are infected with it and show behavioral changes, this may create a dynamic whereby behavior triggered by the parasite in one wolf influences the rest of the wolves in the pack. If, for example, the pack leader seeks out the scent of cougar pee as they boldly push into new territory, they could face greater exposure to the parasite, thus a greater rate of infection throughout the wolf population. This generates a sort of feedback loop of increased overlap and infection. It's compelling evidence that a tiny understudied agents can have a huge influence on ecosystem dynamics. This study demonstrates how community-level interaction can affect individual behavior and could potentially scale up to group-level decision-making, population biology, and community ecology, the researchers write. Incorporating the implications of the parasite infections into the future wildlife research is vital to understanding the impacts of parasites on individuals, groups, populations, and ecosystem processes. Now on to something amazing! Orcas strike again. They've been doing this for a bit, but apparently they stopped for a bit and now they're back at it. Sinking yacht in the Strait of Gibraltar. The Mediterranean yacht season has kicked off for the summer, and it didn't take long for another yacht to fall victim to a killer whale encounter. A group of orcas sank a 50-foot sailing yacht in Moroccan waters on Sunday, and the latest in several similar incidents involving the highly social species to have occurred over the past 4 years. Take out the rich. Eat the rich. I mean... An unknown number of orcas were involved in the incident, which took place in the Strait of Gibraltar, Spain's Maritime Rescue Service said on Monday, according to Reuters. The incident is the most recent in a spat of bizarre orca encounters with boats that have been in the rise in recent years, primarily in the Mediterranean waters south of Spain, where many yachts cruise during the summer months. 2 passengers were on board the Albert around 9 a.m. local time on Sunday when they suddenly felt hits to the hull and rudder. Citing the Reuters reported, citing the Maritime Service, water soon began to pour into the yacht. A nearby oil tanker came to the people's rescues, saving them from the waterlogged ship and delivering them to land. But the yacht wasn't as lucky. The Albaran Cognac stayed adrift for a time until it ultimately sank. Since 2020, hundreds of similar encounters between boats and orcas has been documented off the coast of Spain and Portugal, often near the Strait of Gibraltar. And it's not just yachts. Orcas have also rammed into sailboats, and some mariners have even created heavy metal playlists in hopes of deterring the killer whales. Though the experts say it'll do little help. Yeah, heavy metal playlists. Yeah, I know, right? Researchers say the clashes typically follow a similar pattern, with the killer whale repeatedly slamming into the rudder of a ship, often until it breaks and the boat is stranded. Most of the time, the boats have been able to escape with minimal damage, but several boats have sunk. While the so-called orca attacks may appear violent, marine biologists have said it's unlikely the encounters are actually malicious. Several experts told the Business Insider last year that the orcas are probably just playing, taking out the rich. Probably. Well, I mean, we do ruin where they are, and I swear, orcas, dolphins altogether, orcas are actual dolphins, are smart enough to figure out activities to entertain themselves that are often violent. Andrew Trites, director of the Marine Mammal Research Unit at the University of British Columbia in Canada, said ramming into the boats may simply be a playful activity that's gotten way out of hand. Researchers have also said that killer whales may be learning the behavior from each other through simple imitation. New animal discovered 3,000 feet below the ocean surface study. A new species of crab was discovered living 3,000 feet under the Earth's ocean surface, according to a new study. Researchers exploring the area in a submersible that wasn't named the Titanic, I mean not the Titanic, the Titan, in March 2021, discovered the crab and collected a male specimen from some bamboo coral in the South China Sea. Upon closer examination, the team learned it had found a new species, depicting its characteristics in a study published in the Raffles Bulletin of Zoology on May 3rd. The new crab is called Gordocinus mazupo. It closely resembles another species of crab, G. pacifica, based on its shape, and some of its features. Both crab possess a prominent spine. However, the new crab's ambulatory legs are much longer than the G. specifica. Researchers also noticed how the G. mazopo was covered in spines and had blade-like claws. Do they have a picture of it? The area view taken. I guess that's the area it was found. It's a crab. According to the research, the species is named after the Chinese goddess or grandmother of the sea, Mazu. According to the research, do they have a picture? Okay, there we go. They have a picture of it down there. Carapace is yellow in color. Its legs and other parts are orange, and the second species of porter crab known to exist in the South China Sea. According to reports by the Miami Herald, only one crab was found on the coastline. It's unclear if the crab is an endangered species. But yeah, 3,000 feet. Yeah, bamboo coral. It might be near a hydrothermal thing. I don't know. Countless new species are found each year. At times, those thought to have disappeared or gone extinct resurface. For example, a carnivore known as a fisher that was hunted to near extinction in Ohio in the 1800s was possibly spotted dead on the side of the road in the state recently, signaling the species has begun to move further west. When it comes to ocean species, the possibilities... It's not giving us any more. The National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration says it's impossible to know all the species living in the ocean, given that 91% of the ocean species have yet to be classified. That more than percentage of our 80% of our ocean is unmapped, unexplored. More than 17,000 known species live in the deep sea, or 656 feet, where no light can reach. Other news, a rare Chilean angel shark described to be covered in thorns was captured in Chile, allowing a complete study. Okay, what are we doing? No. Allowing the complete study of an animal for the first time in more than 100 years. An angel shark. I don't think it's the... Oh. That is not the... 2 male angel sharks while fishing sent to the National Museum. That's a poor beagle. Why are you showing me pictures of something I'm not looking for? Newsweek? Why are you linking me? It says 2 male angel sharks. Chile. This is showing a picture of Rhode Island. Newsweek! Free description. That pictures? Pictures! There! Ha! To actually go to the fucking article on that. Newsweek, you suck! Those are the spikes, okay. That looks like no fun. Let me give you all a chance to look. Week, you suck! Alright! Elusive octopus squid with the world's largest biological lights attacks camera while in striking new video. One of the world's most elusive squid species put on a blinding bioluminescent display as it attacked an underwater camera in the deep sea. Exceptionally rare new footage shows. Researchers from the Mindero Foundation and the University of Western Australia Deep Sea Research Center captured the rare encounter, which occurred about 3,281 feet or 1,000 meters below the Pacific Ocean's surface, using a free-falling baited camera dropped into the sea near the Samoan Passage, an area of deep water flow north of Samoa. The team was on a research cruise documenting the diversity of the deepest parts of the ocean, the Hydal Zone, when they spotted the rare creature. The animal on the video was a Dana octopus squid, Tanningia danae, member of the octopus family Apocotheotide that feeds on pelagic fish, crustaceans, and other squid species. The squid species within the family has 8 long legs. I mean, not legs, arms, which they call an octopus squid. As juveniles, they have 2 long trailing tentacles in addition to their arms, but those are lost in mature squids. Members of this species are known for their colossal size. The longest individual ever reported was a 7.5 foot long or 2.3 meter female, according to a 2003 study. The individual in the video was around 2.5 feet or 75 centimeters long, according to the statement. In the footage, the squid suddenly appears from the darkness, darts towards the camera, engulfing it with its arms before making a quick getaway. Moments before latching onto the camera, the squid shows off a pair of bright light-emitting organs known as photophores at the tips of its 2 arms. The species photophores, which emits bursts of light as a result of chemical reaction, are the largest of their kind in the animal kingdom, researchers wrote in a statement. But scientists have rarely seen the squid's biological lights used in action. Hey! Haru, didn't we face off about a certain creature that's kind of like this before? In Monster Hunter? We were reviewing the yeah, I would say that it's more like an octopus squid when it decides to do the jumping thing and down, now that I think about it. Researchers believe does it actually have the video? I guess this is the image of it right before it attacks. We had captured something very rare, and we were lucky to have witnessed it, Heather Stewart said. Researchers believe the squid's photophores helped them stun prey in the dark waters of the deep sea, possibly communicate with other individuals of the same species, and possibly. These squids can change the pattern of their flashes by controlling the eyelid-like membranes that cover their light-producing organs, according to a 2017 study. In the video, can I find the video though? I'm gonna try and click. Overall, in the video, the squid descends on our camera, assuming it was a prey, and tried to startle it with its huge bioluminescence headlights, Stewart said. Overall, the researchers know very little about this species because they are rarely seen alive. Many records of this species are from strandings, accidentally by catch, or from the stomach contents of whales, said Alan Jameson, director of WA's Deep Sea Research, said in a statement. The squid was only spotted alive for the first time around 19 years ago by researchers using a similar camera system, according to the study published in 2007, and these squids have been seen alive only a handful of times since. The rarity of live observations of these amazing animals make the encounter valuable in gathering information on geographic locations, depths, and behaviors, Jameson said. See if I can find. That's just the website. Hmm. Found it. Oops. Oh, it's look at that. I see you moment. Luminescence light just started its play. We're seeing at the end of its squad. Squid, which is about 30 inches long, seen wrapping its arm around a camera that is mistaken for its prey. I mean, there was a bait right there, I think, but it went for the camera instead.
Thanks for watching.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Shut up, you. All right. Scientists find a cannabis compound inside a totally different plant. Scientists have discovered a cannabinoid, a compound in cannabis known as CBT. Not CBT. CBT is a therapy, cognitive behavioral science. CBD, in a common Brazilian plant, opening potential new avenues to produce the increasingly popular substance. The team found CBD in the fruits and flowers of a plant known as the Micranthia bloom, a shrub which grows across much of South America, the South American country, and often considered a weed. Molecular biologist Rodrigo Mora Nitu of the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. I'm gonna sound mean for a second. Brazil doesn't need any more drug problems. Actually, all of the South doesn't growing things so that they can bring it up where we are. Because actually, technically, we're the ones with the... America has the drug problem. They're just the ones that provide it because we pay for it. Also, share this with Sabby. CBD, increasingly used by some to treat conditions such as epilepsy, chronic pain, and anxiety, is one of the main active components in cannabis, along with tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC, the substance that makes users feel high. The compound's effectiveness as a medical treatment is still under research. Netro says the chemical analysis found in Trema contains CBD, but not THC, raising the possibility of an abundant new source of the former, one that would not face the legal and regulatory hurdles of cannabis, which continues to be outlawed in many places. It's a legal alternative to using cannabis. This is a plant that grows all over Brazil. It would be simpler and cheaper source of the CBD. Scientists have previously found CBD in a related plant in Thailand, he said. Neto has not yet published the results, said he plans to scale up his study to identify the best methods to extract CBD from Trema and analyze its effectiveness in patients with conditions currently being treated with medical cannabis. His team recently won a 500,000 real, or US dollar, it's 104,000 grant from the Brazilian government to fund the research, which he estimates will take at least 5 years to complete. A study in 2002 2022, by marketing analysis firm Vantage Market Research, estimates the global market for CBD is nearly US $5 billion, projected to grow more than $47 billion by 2028, driven mainly by health and wellness use.